features of flat terrain and steep terrain. First thing, can you see the contour interval on the map? So what is a contour interval? It's the distance and elevation between each line. Should be listed on the bottom of the map. They will be different between the two maps that you have.
25 feet is ours.
As an example, on your flat map, which is our area, what's the contour interval? Okay, and that's 40 feet on the other one. Okay, what's your contour interval?
25.
25 on that one. What about the other one?
Trying to find it.
What do you
40
guys
feet.
got?
Our flat map is 25,
It's hard reading notes.
Juan, how about yours?
10 and 40.
10 and 40. Now, there's another way. If somebody, drafter came through ISU, they probably forgot to put that on the title. Okay. There's another way to do it. When you have a major contour line, this thick one, it's going to be labeled, right? Like 4,200, and then go to the next one, and it might say 3,500. You know there's 5 lines there. So you can take the difference between the two, divide it by 5, and that is also your contour interval. Now try that real quick. So,
Okay, so tell me again.
So we have like,
so find 2 major contour lines that are next to each other. Remember, these are the bold ones,
here's
like these
one.
2 darker ones right here. This.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't
I
really
have
matter.
32 right here and then
Okay, there you go. 32 and 33. Now they're right above each other, right?
2, 3, 4.
Now take, that's 100 feet, divide it by 5,
Uh-huh.
that's 20, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So each
What's your
space in
con-
between is 20, but 20, 40.
You got 100, you're gonna divide it by 5, now that's 20. So look at the contour interval, does that match that?
No.
25 feet. Oh, wait, hold, you gotta divide it by 4, don't you?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
looking at it. I was like,
I'm sorry,
there's only
you divide
4.
by 4.
Okay, ours labeled the fourth contour line that ran up instead of the major.
But see,
You
look,
divide
it's
by
like there's
4 because you
3,400.
can't count both lines twice.
You see like ours?
And then I guess 3,100.
34, 50,
Then you'd follow this
35,
one
35,
to,
56, and then they skipped. Why? Because it went up, they went before.
I know.
So, yeah, 36, 36.
Right, why, you're supposed to do this, just because it's the last one. and
No,
you should
because
follow
there's
that.
no other lines in between. No, wait, yeah, that's a minor contour.
Yeah, it's a minor contour.
Didn't we say below
Just 'cause
it,
was
though?
the last one they
Yeah.
gave it to
Yeah,
you?
yeah, and
So
generally.
I don't think you'd
I was
follow
gonna say,
it.
that's not weird. Okay.
So this one would be the next one below it.
We've got 35.
How'd you go?
1, 2, 3.
I think this one.
300 divided by 4.
I'm gonna take 50 feet divided by 4.
Okay.
Oops, divided by 4. What is that?
What are we figuring out here?
20.
what is it?
75.
300 divided by 4. That's 75. 75, then,
That's not 25.
no. But you divide it by
I'm
3?
confused, I'm getting
No, you
different
divide by
answers. Do
4,
we
he
divide
said.
that by 4 or 5?
4.
Basic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes,
But
because
we
you
were
start
off
at
on
one major
both.
contour and you
spaces
count.
between.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Count the spaces, so you see
Hey,
the
I'm
five spaces
possible for
between.
you.
So
Yes, count the spaces. And the same
I
way
owe
we laid
donuts
out
now.
on the drawing. Remember?
Dang it.
We did the spaces. And that should match what's listed at the bottom of the left. Now, next thing, look down there and see, because the contour interval doesn't change over the course of the map. So if you've got contour lines that are quite a ways apart, you immediately know this is fairly flat land. If you find a spot where your contour lines get very close to each other, now we're coming into cliffs or very steep areas. Now, it is all relative, because if I've got an area that has a 10-foot contour interval and I have these, and then I look at the next map that has a 40 or 50-foot contour and it has these,
That's perfect.
there's substantially different slopes. Okay? But on one map, they indicate. So this is a plateau, right? Fairly flat. And then what happens here?
Oh, yeah.
We got a cliff, right?
So like Missy was trying to solve. Missy was trying to solve these ones over here. Where was it?
right here, 3,400.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh no, 3,400 and right here. So how would you distinguish by the bold lines? Because
Yeah. So here it's so steep they haven't labeled every major. So there's a major, and then Yep, and then look at the line weights. So there's
Okay.
from here to there, and I'll just trace this one across to right above it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 major contour lines there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But it's so steep they haven't labeled every one.
So with 4 in between, then you divide it by 4, or you don't? You divide it by 5.
No, you wouldn't divide any of them by there. Find one where you got 2 that are right next to each other. Okay, so I would use like, okay, here's 34, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it comes on. Now if I take the 33 and run it over, they're right next to each other, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm 34 here, 33 there, there's 100 feet in between those two.
Why wouldn't they like expanded these out to bigger to make it?
Because it goes flat, right there, because that's the topo. This is the top of the cliff. Now this is a big plateau on top. This is all flat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Now I understand. So right,
How can you tell that's on top and not down?
Because my major contour line, the 32, is lower than 33, which is lower than 3375, so the soil has to be coming uphill this way. Right, that's 3,200 feet above sea level, that's 3,000, it's got to be going down.
Right, okay.
So now, where
grab
did
it, show you
you
this.
get these, like, original?
Right there, where is it?
Can people buy these?
Yeah, Forest Service is about the only place that really sells them anymore.
Do they run them?
Like that in the way.
Well,
No.
I guess where's the blanks, or where's one they have?
Say they were
Who keeps the
100.
file?
If any of you want some of these, I have a
Like
program
100,
that has all these.
Because it was 3,400 and
So it is like,
3,300.
so it's not like you have to
Yeah.
go
How
to-
does that
What I
make
suggest,
100?
if you wanted a bunch
The
of these,
3,400.
go over to Sportsman's Warehouse, costs about $100. And next to you
So-
get this, that has the entire state of
You
Idaho on it.
subtract it, then divide it?
Yeah.
Didn't you say you'd like divide or multiply
I've got it
by
sitting on my
5?
computer.
So there's our scale is 25. So every 100 feet, we know there's going to be 4 lines between every thicker line. So right here we can see there's a thick line, there's a thick line. So we know from this thick line to this thick line there has to be 4
Okay, one other thing
littler
on this.
lines and 100
If
feet.
you find a spot elevation.
And when our other
Look at
one's
the top
40,
of a
so
peak.
then you divide it by 100.
Or something, or the bottom of a depression. Try and find a spot elevation. Many times, if you'll see a different symbol, this one's a spot, try and find one that has this on it with the elevation next to it. Okay, and let's talk about the differences of them and what they mean.
On X,
Probably your steep ones
I have
are the best place to
X's.
look here.
There's X's. There's one there,
Got a
right?
spot elevation there?
Is that it?
Yep, that's spot elevation, and it's got a BM next to it.
Okay, what is that?
You might see also this or this, and it has a BM next to it.
And then there's this one too. There's 1, there's 2.
But they don't have arrows. You know, arrowheads.
No, they're either X's or they're arrowheads. So there's X and X. So we need to find one with a triangle. Unless this is a, they changed the standards.
Wait, let me see the VM.
If you can't find the BM. There's one right here. And then
There's one right there too. Where's it from?
there's one right here. Instead of the arrowhead. Where is it? Right there.
Okay, so the X is the spot elevation, right? It's a symbol saying this is the point and that's the elevation of it. So we're either doing this on the bottom of a depression or the top of a peak generally. If you have a triangle on there, has anybody found one with a triangle?
Yeah.
Got one with a triangle? What does that mean? Means there's a monument there. So somebody has built maybe a concrete structure or something in there.
One of ours, I don't know if they go together, but it says BA, Did you find it?
I don't know what the BA is. BM stands for a benchmark. Okay, what that means, there's a brass cap on there that some surveyor has placed. And you can use that as a backsite. It will be recorded in the state offices, the exact coordinates of it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You're like, cool. I'm like, weird.
It's just amazing that they went
So
out
the triangle was
and
a.
did this.
It's a monument. So some surveyor got up there and they.
Oh,
had a little
Hagerman
piece of
Plaza,
concrete
that's
and
national
molded
monument,
some
so we should have
statue
one.
or
We
something
should.
Look at that, where's,
And chiseled the coordinates into the side of it.
you got a lot of gravel pits.
There's an X. Wait, where this is a big national monument, we should have a bunch of little triangles, right? Well, there's an X.
Yeah, there's lots of little X's.
Yeah, so there's a, so you've got that triangle.
Well, why doesn't that have BM or anything? It just has an
I
X.
know.
Be in,
But that's what he had at the first. He just had, oh no, he had the triangle and the number. But he did say, so someone drew, oh, that's a 4.
You're like,
I'm like, there's one.
that's an X.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, cause see, like, here's BM with numbers and no X or anything.
we found one of those.
So
This
that's just where
is
they,
wrong.
Where's that? They're not gonna even know. We have an old irrigation district.
Just big places.
everything's just so small.
Yep.
They have some benchmarks here.
Somewhat?
You guys had a benchmark, didn't you?
Yes.
All right, everybody find those?
Yes.
Now, those are nice to know where they're at, because if you're doing surveying,
Oh, you
you
do?
now have a data point.
Yeah, we have them, like, there's,
It's up to the state to manage those. We have them all around here. We have them everywhere around here. Now, the difference that you're gonna look for is if it has that triangle, it's a monument. Do any of you drive outside of Twin on Falls and you see that little statue of Idaho that says, what is it? What's that big waterfall we have?
Shoshone Falls.
If you look on the map of that area, that's benchmark. And on top of that, there's a little piece of brass sitting on there, and it has the coordinates chiseled in right next to it. That's a monument, right? It's some structure that marks it.
Benchmark.
A benchmark is just a brass cap somewhere. So do y'all understand steep terrain, flat terrain, where to find data?
Yeah.
Got it placed out in the field for you?
Benchmark on it. One place has 2 benchmarks? No, this line.
Another important feature, good place to eat your lunch when you're hiking, you know. If we're building stuff, we always look for saddles. See if you can find the saddle. Generally, what you're gonna have, you're gonna have a peak and a peak, and this is kind of the distance in between. Now, generally, when we build roads and stuff, we're always going through there. So really what this represents is I have something that does this. Okay? Where here is your saddle,
There physically
which
has to
equates
be.
to right here. So if you're building a trail, building a road, taking a power line through there, you're almost always going through the saddle, so you don't have to navigate those rocky peaks. You probably won't have any on that one.
Okay, I was like,
You'll have bunches of them on the other one.
yay! Hey, Missy, we got this. We're figuring it out. Okay, right here. There's an X, but that's not a saddle.
That's a peak. Okay, now that's probably got a saddle with it though. Okay, so here's another peak right here. See this flat area right in
right
between? That's the low spot in between those two peaks. You have this one here, this one here. That's actually a ridge top, so that's not a saddle. Notice how they don't go back on each other.
I can move this. Somebody can see.
like this. Is that one?
Yep, there's a saddle right there. It's just that flat area right there. See how they kind of converge on each other and go apart? That's the low spot in between those two high spots. Here's a really big one. Okay, so you got two peaks here. So I got a big ridge that drops down about, 400 feet. And then there's the low spot.
Okay.
Okay, so that if I'm building a power line or something, I'm going for that area. That's where I'm gonna put it.
Okay.
They're my favorite places to sit and read a Louis L'Amour book and eat my lunch. You guys find them?
I think so.
Where's our really big saddle? Somewhere.
Between here and where the next piece. Actually, this is a pretty small one. So that would be more of a flat. It only comes up like 40 feet here. So more.
Where did it go?
There's another one right here though.
Mm-hmm. Here.
Right there.
Wait, this has to.
Oh yeah, here it is, right here. Here's the middle. I should take my phone in. Picture.
Not a good lesson to record.
No.
Because we're stopping here.
I mean, it's good to find it, but
No,
it'd be
we're
good
actually
to
going
have
up for
a picture one.
rodeo there, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of a hometown.
Because then you can reference it, you know, and you know what you're looking for.
Do bull riding, bear riding, saddle bronc riding.